Shamelessly Arguing with Vegans is a book that I have authored. I'm Swati Prakash, a spiritual healer, and this book is available free of cost from earthhealingnetwork.com, free for the benefit of the planet, for the rights of the animals who we share this planet with, and for our betterment, our awakening of consciousness, so that we become better humans. Now, this being really important, there are 150 arguments that are debunked because these arguments are thrown at us in an evil way by those beings who would rather not change. How can we educate, inspire, and transform the universe? All these arguments are debunked truthfully in this book, which becomes a handy manual and a guide for anyone who needs it. I'll pick up a card message for the day, an oracle card. This card says decisions. It's from the Ganesha oracle, an oracle of wisdom, a deity that is a herbivorous deity that inspires us on our path. And veganism is exactly that, a decision. It is a choice that we can easily make right now without wasting any further time. A decision that can change our life, save our world, and save numerous animals every year. Just because you are vegan, you won't cause their suffering, their death. You won't be a participant in cruelty. What better decision can there be? Now, for the argument of the day, let me pick up an argument at random. This argument is number 11. Well, we kill so many insects unknowingly. The insect argument. So, because we use pesticides or kill insects accidentally, we can't be vegan. Veganism doesn't mean that you have to be perfect and watch every step you take. Yes, you should try not to trample upon other poor souls deliberately, but to save the lives of animals farmed for food by not eating them. This is something that is possible easily on a daily basis. It is a practical thing to do, being vegan or not consuming animal products, not purchasing animal products, not giving your money for exploiting animals in zoos or shows in which animals are used. So, when you talk about this insect argument that we still harm someone, people are still harmed, insects are still harmed, yes, that is true. But would you give that argument when your neighbor was abused? Suppose there was a murder in your neighborhood, would you say, so what? Let people be killed? After all, insects die too. When your family member is hurt grievously, would you say that doesn't matter because insects also get hurt, get trampled upon, get squashed by accident, get killed in fields while growing plants? So, is this a valid argument? Does this mean that we shouldn't care about another sentient being's life or safety just because these things also happen to insects? So, these arguments make us wonder, what are we arguing against? Arguing against the massive crimes of rape and murder, billions and trillions of sentient beings being abused like this, emotional beings with power. They have willpower. They do want to run away for dear life. And to trap them is psychological abuse and harm. To take over their life, to decide what they would be fed, how they would be kept, to control every minute of their existence. This is demonic. This is the devil, just like the cover page of my book shows. We can change this. We can abolish this in our lifetime, at least in our personal life. if not at a systemic level in the world. As for pesticides, yes, you may want to have organic food, maybe you want veganic food, which means you don't use any animal products in it either to grow it as manure. So you can do all that. You can have non-harming alternatives to the kind of farming that is very intensive. So you can have your own allotment and grow veganically. If not, at least be vegan. If you can't be perfect, at least don't pay for the direct exploitation, murder, and abuse of a particular individual when you can avoid it. So do the best you can to avoid that. You can also use natural pesticides, for example, plants such as mint, certain oils like citronella. So you can have alternatives like cloves, garlic. You can repel insects in more humane ways, but that doesn't mean that because you can't be perfect in that, you cannot go vegan in your day-to-day lifestyle and shopping habits. There are children who deliberately stomp upon snails and insects. So that's not nice. Ignorant people teach to our children that because we consume animals, we can be cruel in our day-to-day life. I've seen children pelt stones at animals and abuse them. Dogs, cats are abused on streets in certain countries. There are roadkills because people are not kind to animals and leave them on the roads. We can be more responsible. We can be more kind. We should leave no stone unturned in doing the best that we can do. But to be perfect, that is not the main message of veganism. It means to do the best that we can practically do, something that's possible right now in our hands. So think about what is there in your hands. The main thing that we're after is to abolish the horrors of animal agriculture and the deliberate exploitation of sentient beings. This is happening at a massive scale. This is avoidable. The scale of these crimes is not funny. The way these crimes are conducted is completely horrific. It's graphic violence of the highest order. Imagine you being in a slaughterhouse. How would you feel? No animal should be subject to that just because there is some or the other harm, some of the other insect somewhere. Veganism is something that's practicable and possible, and it is our moral obligation